Two legends, two families torn apart, two legal battles that should never have happened. Tonight we're talking about Chadwick Boseman and Malcolm Jamal Warner, and what their estates are teaching us about something Black families have avoided talking about for too long. Stay with me. Welcome back, family. I'm so glad you're here tonight because we are getting into something real, something that touches every single one of us. Whether you've got millions in the bank or a modest savings account and a home you worked hard for. We lost Chadwick Boseman in August 2020. We lost Malcolm Jamal Warner in May 2025. Two brilliant Black men, two icons, and right now, both of their families are not leaning on each other in grief. They are in court. Fighting over money, fighting over assets, fighting in ways that are playing out publicly for the whole world to see. I want to be clear before we go further. This is not about dragging these families. Grief does things to people. Legal processes do things to people. What this is about is using these very public, very painful situations as a mirror so we can look at ourselves and ask, what would happen to my family if I left tomorrow? Tonight's conversation draws from a powerful piece published July 23, 2026, by writer Chanel Ganai over at Essence Magazine. She breaks down both estate situations and connects them to a larger conversation about Black wealth and estate planning. We're going deeper on everything she raised and more. Let's get into it. Let's start with Chadwick, the king himself, T'Challa, a man who carried Black excellence on his back while privately fighting stage 3, then stage 4, colon cancer for 4 years, and he never let us see him struggle. He just kept showing up and giving us everything he had. He passed on August 28, 2020, and here is the part that is hard to sit with. Chadwick Boseman, one of the most celebrated Black actors of his generation, died without a will, no estate plan, nothing legally documented about how he wanted his assets distributed. When someone dies without a will, the state steps in and decides how assets get divided. That process is called dying intestate. Courts issued a 2022 order establishing that his parents would receive 50% of his estate and his widow, Simone Ledward Boseman, would receive the other 50%. Fast forward to July 22, 2026, 6 years after his death, and TMZ reported that Chadwick's brothers filed a petition to have Simone removed as a state administrator. Their claim? That she has not distributed the $3 million in assets owed to their parents. They allege she has kept the family in the dark about where the money is going. Sit with that for a second. 6 years. His parents, the people who raised him, who loved him, who watched him become one of the greatest, reportedly still waiting on what a court said they are entitled to. We don't know Simone's full side yet. Legal processes are complicated. Grief is complicated. But here is what we do know. A will could have given Chadwick's specific instructions in his own words about exactly who gets what and when. A properly structured estate with an independent executor could have removed the conflict entirely. Instead, a family is in court, and that is not the legacy this man deserved. Now let's talk about Malcolm Jamal Warner, Theo Huxtable, a man who grew up on our television screens and became a respected actor, musician, and father. Malcolm Jamal Warner passed away in May 2025, and his estate situation tells a different story, one that is equally complicated and just as instructive. According to Essence and Entertainment Weekly, Warner did have a trust in place, established back in 1996. His widow, Tanisha Warner, filed a lawsuit against his mother, Pamela Warner, who serves as the successor trustee of that trust. Tanisha's argument is that the trust does not provide adequate financial support for her and their 9-year-old child. The lawsuit seeks $1.2 million. Entertainment Weekly broke down exactly what that figure covers. $1 million in life insurance obligations, $50,542.46 in anniversary payment obligations, $30,500 for a Roth IRA obligation, and additional amounts. So here we have a situation where a trust existed and there is still a lawsuit. A mother and a widow fighting in court over a child's financial future. This tells us something critically important. Having a document is a start, but the document must stay current. A trust written in 1996 for a man who later married and had a child needed updating. Life changes, relationships change, a child arrives. The documents protecting your family must reflect the life you are actually living right now, not the life you lived 30 years ago. Both situations, Chadwick's and Malcolm Jamal's, point to the same root issue. Estate planning gets treated as something we'll get to eventually, and eventually sometimes never comes. Now let's zoom out, because Chanel Janai's piece in essence makes a point I want every single person watching tonight to hear clearly. This is not just a celebrity problem. According to 2022 data from Consumer Reports, nearly 70% of Black homeowners do not have a will or an estate plan. 70%. The majority of Black families who own homes, who have built something, who have assets to protect, have no legal document in place to protect any of it. The Consumer Reports data also shows Black and Hispanic homeowners trail white homeowners significantly when it comes to having wills and estate plans in place. Think about what that means in practice. You work your whole life, you buy a home, you build a savings account, you have a retirement fund, and then one day you're gone, and your family has to figure out what belongs to whom with no instructions from you, while they are grieving, while court systems make decisions for them, and while legal fees eat into the very assets you spent your life building. The American Society on Aging points out something else worth noting. A will carries special weight for people who want to leave assets to someone not connected by blood, marriage, or formal adoption. Think about the people in your life you consider family, a partner you haven't married, a child you raised who isn't legally yours, a close friend, a goddaughter. Without a will naming them specifically, they receive nothing. The state decides, and the state does not know your heart. Historically, Black families have faced barriers to wealth building at every turn. Redlining, discriminatory lending, workplace discrimination. We fought to build what we have. Estate planning is how we protect it and pass it forward. Chadwick and Malcolm Jamal are not the first. Chanel's piece names several others, and we honor them by learning from their situations. Prince, one of the greatest musicians who ever lived, died in April 2016 without a will. His estate, valued at an estimated $156 million, according to reporting from the New York Times, took years to settle. Siblings, half-siblings, and outside claimants all entered the picture. The state of Minnesota handled distribution. Aretha Franklin, the Queen of Soul, passed in 2018, also without a formal will. Handwritten notes were later found in her home, but handwritten documents carry complicated legal weight. Her sons spent years in legal disputes. Forbes reported her estate valued at around $80 million. James Brown, the godfather of soul, had an estate plan, but it faced decades of legal challenges after his 2006 death. His wishes to fund scholarships for underprivileged children in South Carolina and Georgia got tied up in court for years. Nipsey Hussle, a man who talked about Black economic empowerment, who built community, who invested in his neighborhood, died in 2019 without a will. His partner Lauren London and his family faced legal complications while also raising their son. These are legends, warriors for Black culture, and the systems they left behind did not match the intention they carried in their hearts. We honor them by doing better for our own families. All right, family, here is the path forward, and estate planning is more accessible than most people think. Step 1. Get a will drafted. A will names your beneficiaries, designates who raises your minor children, and gives courts clear instructions. An estate attorney can draft a basic will starting around $300 to $500 in most states. The National Bar Association and local Black bar associations connect you with Black attorneys who specialize in this work. Legal aid societies serve lower-income families at little to no cost. Step 2. Consider a trust. A revocable living trust keeps your assets out of probate court entirely, meaning your family receives what you leave them faster, more privately, and with fewer legal fees. Malcolm Jamal Warner had a trust. The lesson his situation teaches us is that a trust needs regular review and updates as your life evolves. Step 3. Name your beneficiaries on every account. Your bank accounts, retirement accounts, life insurance policies, each of these has a beneficiary designation field. Fill it out. Update it after major life changes. A named beneficiary on an account transfers that asset directly, bypassing probate entirely. Step 4. Designate a healthcare proxy and power of attorney. Estate planning covers more than death. A healthcare proxy designates who makes medical decisions if you become incapacitated. A durable power of attorney designates who manages your finances. These documents carry enormous weight. Step 5. Review your plan every 3 to 5 years. Life changes, marriages, divorces, births, deaths, new assets, all of these warrant a review of your documents. Malcolm Jamal's 1996 trust did not reflect his 2025 life. Keep your plan current. Black-owned financial planning firms and HBCUs with financial literacy programs offer resources specifically designed for our community. Organizations like the National Urban League and local chapters of 100 Black Men also connect families to estate planning education. Here's the truth that Chanel Janai lands on at the end of her Essence piece, and I want to echo it fully. Estate planning is an act of love. Whether you have millions or a modest savings account and a home, a plan protects the people you love after you can no longer protect them yourself. That is a profound responsibility we owe our families. Black wealth in America has been stripped, blocked, and stolen through systems and policies for generations. Every dollar we build carries the weight of that history. When we leave without a plan, we hand the courts and the state the power to distribute what our ancestors, our parents, and we ourselves sacrificed to build. Estate planning keeps that power in the family. This is generational wealth work. This is legacy work. And it starts with one document. I want to thank Chanel Janai and the team at Essence for putting this conversation into the world on July 23rd. That piece sparked tonight's live, and I encourage every one of you to go read it in full, link in the description. Additional context on the estates of Prince, Aretha Franklin, James Brown, and Nipsey Hussle comes from reporting by The New York Times, Forbes, and Entertainment Weekly, all linked in the description below. Here is your homework before we close out. 1. Research one estate attorney in your city this week. Just research. Start there. 2. Check the beneficiary designations on your bank and retirement accounts tonight. 3. Share this video with someone you love who needs to hear it. We do not talk about this enough in our community. Tonight, we changed that. Drop a comment and let me know. Do you have a will? Are you starting the process? I want to hear from you. Thank you for being here. Stay protected, stay intentional, protect your legacy. See you next time.